On Thursday, e-commerce giant Amazon made a surprise announcement. It withdrew plans to build a new headquarters here in New York. While the project in the Queens neighborhood of Long Island City was welcomed by many, it also generated fierce local opposition. Here to talk about what the decision means is Derek Thompson, senior editor at The Atlantic. Derek, good morning.
Good morning.
So you write that New York City and Amazon both got what they deserve. Explain that.
I think that a popular view right now is that this is a tragedy for the city, that we have lost out on 25,000 jobs, a headquarters from a major tech giant in the world, that this is a huge loss. In the bigger picture, though, New York is going to be fine. Amazon is going to be fine, and the city does not have an employment problem. It doesn't even have a tech employment problem. Google is expanding at a rapid clip. Amazon already has 5,000 jobs here. New York City has a household affordability problem. Right. And the city leaders should focus on the problems the city has, make it a desirable location for any company to come to without being bribed with billions of dollars of corporate subsidies, and start with that even playing.
Why do you call this a disaster from the start?
I call it a disaster from the start because this was kind of like a potluck of political miscalculations, like everybody brought their own. Bezos from the beginning, Amazon, typically such an effective company at marshaling public opinion, a disaster with HQ2, telling people this is going to be a way to potentially revitalize small cities, and they ended up just choosing New York City and Washington, D.C. suburbs. That's number one. Number two, I think that Cuomo and de Blasio, the mayor of New York City, dramatically miscalculated the political temperature of Queens at a moment of left-wing agitation in the Democratic Party, and at a moment when you have a lot of people who are worried about affordable housing and see affordable housing subsidies being taken away from people in New York.
Well, this could have driven up costs in neighborhoods.
A $1 trillion company. That's not a good look from a mayor who ran on affordable housing.
Well, this is how cities do business. They give corporations their own form of welfare. So in a city like New York City that is, like, in itself, it's wealthy, right? Yes. How are you supposed to do this?
Right. The way that cities do business with regard to corporate subsidies is bad business. Every single year, American cities and states spend $90 billion on corporate subsidies. That's not creating any net new jobs. That's just dragging jobs that already existed across state lines. The vast majority of these subsidies are given to companies that were going to move jobs to that city anyway.
So why do they do it?
They do it because they're desperate for political wins. But it's a zero-sum game.
Is there any evidence that the subsidies really work?
There is very little evidence the subsidies work. In fact, there's more evidence that the subsidies don't work, that they essentially pay companies to do that which they were going to do anyway. Seattle's giving Boeing $9 billion in subsidies in the area that it was actually founded. New York City, the capital of advertising in America, paying a company that's expanding into advertising $3 billion to expand into a city that it was probably coming to anyway in terms of a large number of jobs. I think that this is an extremely wasteful, anti-capitalist, anti-free market way to think about corporate development. You build the best city you can with municipal investments, and then the companies make their own decisions. That's the free market.
Tell us how you really think, Derek Thompson. Thank you.